So the Democratic Party, we love the Democratic Party, don't we? Don't we love the Democratic Party? I'm a huge fan. House Democrats berate campaign arm over very dangerous GOP primary scheme. So, I mentioned this, I covered this a while ago, that the Democratic campaign, like whatever, like organization does like the group campaigning, is funding primaries for the Republican side and funding the crazy Trumpers. So that's great. They tried that in 2016, and look where that got us. Environmental Coffee House, $4.99. Okay, everyone, here's the Andrea's tip jar. So again, we got a tip jar. I'm gonna put a dime in here. I just got a bunch of random coins on my desk because whenever I have change, I just, I take my pockets and I go like, right. So, but anyway. $44 million they spent on crazy Republicans. A growing number of House Democrats are seething at their own campaign arm for meddling in a GOP primary to promote a pro-Trump election conspiracy theorist. After months of warning that such candidates were a threat to democracy, and public statements, private chats, and complaints taken directly to the Democratic Congressional Campaign Committee, Democratic members are aghast that their committee is spending nearly $500,000 to air ads boosting Donald Trump endorsed John Gibbs over Rep. Peter Mayer, or Mish, who voted to impeach Trump last year. Well, Mayer is one of the few GOP lawmakers who voted to hold Trump accountable for his own false claims about the 2020 race. His blue-leaning seat is also a top Democratic target district this fall, and Gibbs is seen as an easier opponent to beat in November. The primary next Tuesday will kick off a 3-month sprint to the general election. Now, again, instead of spending $44 million on their own campaigns to advertise what great things these candidates are going to be running on, they're spending $44 million on these random shitfucker campaigns. And even if they lose, right? Okay, mate, great. You can beat them in November. Maybe, possibly. I don't know. It didn't really work in 2016. But even if they lose, they're still going to be benefiting from that money forever because it has permanently raised their profile. They won a primary on the Republican side. So they're just going to run again in another race or in the next cycle. And they're still going to be benefiting off of this $44 million, right? So again, these people don't think in the long term. It's just insane. It's just insane. I just can't. I can't with these motherfuckers. Quote, no race is worth compromising your values in that way, said Rep. Stephanie Murphy, D-Fla, who sits on the committee investigating the Jan 6 attack on the Capitol and Trump's election-subverting schemes that preceded it. Democrats, like Murphy, fear the strategy could easily backfire if a candidate like Gibbs were to win the general election amid a GOP wave, and the party also risks undercutting its own core message about the dangers of the MAGA Republicans taking power. Again, there is no MAGA Republican. It's just Republicans. All right, there is no MAGA Republican. It could be harder for Democrats to claim that certain GOP candidates are an existential threat to the country if they also were using party money to push them closer to winning office. Some members' frustrations are particularly acute now after months of simmering tensions between Rep. Sean Patrick Maloney over other issues during his tenure as the chair of the DCCC. Quote, many of us facing death threats over our efforts to tell the truth about January 6th, to have people boosting candidates, telling this very kinds of lies that caused January 6th and continues to put our democracy in danger is just mind-blowing, said Murphy, who is not seeking re-election this fall. Hello, Dennis. Love your contents and $15 on PayPal. Oh, thank you so much. Reminder, folks, I get more money if you give it to me on PayPal. I'm going to put I'm running out of coins here. I got a nickel. And in the tip jar, I'm surprised that this is working. But I thank you. For sure. I appreciate it. For some, the better chance of flipping one seat is not worth the risk of Gibbs roaming the halls of Congress. The DCCC's ad calls Gibbs too conservative for West Michigan, links him repeatedly to Trump, and trumpets, get it, trumpets, his hard line on immigrants at the border. Wow. Anyway, so some Democrats are starting to wise up to that. That's the kind of gist here we're getting here. You don't have to read the rest. We're just at this point, we get the gist. A couple of Democrats, some of them that are higher up in the leadership, are very confused and very upset about this, as they should be. As they should be. But guess what? Who gave them the green light? Who gave them the green light? Who's in charge? Who was like, oh, that's a great idea, let's do that? Those are the people, they need to be named and shamed. It's fucking Looney Tunes. They could be using $44 million on literally anything else, and it would do infinite positive propaganda for their campaign. They could be using $44 million to, again, that's the number between all of these races. Each one is like $1 million, $500,000, right? But they could be using this money on building their own campaign infrastructure. They could be using this money on paying volunteers for their campaigns so that people are more willing and excited to work for them, do canvassing, phone banking, etc., right? Like, they could be doing so much, right? They could be doing so much with this money, and instead they're giving it to the enemy, and it's just ridiculous. It really is. It's just ridiculous. Anyway, again, most of the time, the way people vote is they're not going to memorize what the ad says. They're just going to recognize the guy's name. Oh, that's the guy I saw on TV. They're not going to know if the ad is like, this guy is a Trump and crazy guy. They're just going to go like, oh shit, that name rings a bell. Because most people are fucking stupid when they vote. They walk in, they don't know any of the candidates. I don't even know why they're fucking voting, right? They do it, I don't know, because their mom told them to. They walk in like zombies, shuffling like sheep, like, I recognize that name on TV. And then they walk out because they're fucking stupid, right? We need to understand this. Most Americans are fucking stupid. Most Americans are fucking stupid. They're fucking dumb motherfuckers. They're dumb motherfuckers, okay? Do you understand this? Jesus fucking Christ. Jesus fucking goddamn Christ. Anyway, some Democrats are wising up, so that's good.